Hey everyone, and thanks for clicking on this video. This is just basically just an update video and just to kind of chat with you guys for a little bit. I know I haven't done that in quite some time, and you'll have to excuse me if you haven't checked out my giveaway video I recently posted. Go check it out, and please participate if you're interested in getting some free items. So yeah, first off, I'm sick, so please excuse me for my voice. I'm on some medication, antibiotics to clear it up, and it's getting a lot better. I'm a lot better today, thank God. So I was able to get up and kind of make a video and stuff like that. I'm using this mic and this other camera because it's just easier. Because sometimes when I'm using the other one, I have to do so much editing and things, and I'm just kind of under the weather. So I'd rather just do it this way, and hopefully you guys won't mind. I know the quality's not as good, but anyway, I had an email, few emails actually, within the past few weeks or so, of people just wanting me to kind of describe when I became spiritual, when I became or knew I was a witch, or how I started my spiritual path. Excuse me. So, I guess that's what this video is going to be about. I believe I had made a video similar to this in the past, maybe one of the first videos that I had made, and I just really didn't like it, I think, or something was in the video I just wanted to kind of scratch out, but I never did. So basically I just removed that video, I think, and there's been a few videos that I have removed from my channel throughout the years that I have been here, just simply because some of my thoughts have changed, or the outlook on things, because being on a spiritual path, things are always constantly changing. We're evolving, we're learning more about ourselves as we progress. All in all, we grow and become more wiser through decisions that we make, and just through the experiences of life in general that we all face and live through. So with that being said, because I know this is going to be a rambling video, so hopefully I don't talk too long. If I do, I'll probably end up talking so much I'll lose my voice, so I'll have to stop talking eventually. So let's see. If you haven't checked out the video that I have titled "When It All Begins," I believe it's called "A Scary Experience." That's really, I hit on a couple of points in that video where, when I was 6 years old, I saw a dark shaded, hooded figure standing in the kitchen area at my parents' house, and that was pretty freaky. So that was the first time I've ever really actually experienced or seen a physical spirit form, or began to know that I have an inner gift or an inner power. See, we all have these inner gifts, all this inner stuff. It's not like any one person is any more special than another. It's just that some people know and can sense that inner psychic ability, and can work with it throughout their life, and becomes more a part of you, like an everyday routine, just like getting up and brushing your teeth, washing your hair, doing your makeup, things like that. So that's basically how that started. Excuse me, I got something in my eye, and I can't edit this video. So started out, that was the most first experience that I remember, is seeing a hooded shape. And I've had other experiences with that hooded shape, and if you're interested in that particular story, it's about 25 minutes long, and it's titled "A Scary Experience." So if you want to know a little bit more about that, and then a really scary experience, obviously, that happened with me and some friends, be sure to check that video out if you haven't already. Also, I'll try to link it into the comments or in the description below, so you can just click and watch it that way. Now, as a child, I always seemed, very interested in just being outside, being in nature. I've always enjoyed being alone, too. Just thinking and writing, it's something I've always done, is think and write. I've got journals that go back to me being 8 years old, of just writing. It could be a variety of different writings, personal emotions, feelings, thoughts, the way the world is, writing poems, little short stories, you name it, I've probably wrote it. So I've got a ton of different things that I write about. Writing music, that's always been something that it's always been a part of in my practice because I've always been a big music fan. I'm not a person who really plays instruments or anything like that. I have tried playing the guitar and other such things like that, but I'm more of just a music lover and just love all kinds of music, all types of years and ages, going all the way back to like early blues, Charlie Patton, in the 20s, on up to now time, with just variety of stuff. But my main favorites is obviously classic rock, metal, and just good old rock and roll. That's the best stuff there. See, getting back on this path here. Um, while growing up, I always felt kind of, outcasted or different. Always seemed and felt different than most other people that I was around or grew up with. So I had friends, but it was difficult for me to make a lot of friends, and I never was like the most popular person in school. I definitely, when I was younger, was slightly a little rebellious because of my first learning of this free will, so to speak. So I feel like I was basically born into knowing that I have a free will and I have a choice to believe what I want to believe rather than what someone else tells me to believe. And that goes with pretty much everything in life: religions, basic thought forms, the programming that you see within the televisions, um, just the way people live their day to day life. It's like I just, don't live like that, so to speak. I mean, I'm a very independent, private type of individual. Even though I make these YouTube videos, I don't share everything that I do and practice and feel because it's just some things are meant to be personal and not talked about. And if you are a practicer of anything, then you know that some things are just meant to be private and not meant to share, that silence aspects, because in silence you can learn so much. And your guides and, your spirit, excuse me, my voice, spirit guides, guardians, whatever you want to call them, beings from an unknown planet, whatever you want to call it, those helpers that assist us through life, those are the ones that have your back and are watching you and protect you from any harm. And so, going back to being at a very young age, I've always had that sense. I've always had that feeling and that willing power of, you can make and choose your life. You can literally create your own way. That's something I always like to talk about here, is creating your own way. Creating a way that works best for you, no matter what that might be. There's been so many different throughout life. There's lots of theories on life. There's lots of different ideas and perspectives from people. And so, really what I like to do is never take anything at face value. Look at something, and rather than letting the feelings of what other people have described it to be, take it in and see from the experience, what do you get out of it? Do you resonate with it even? Does it make you feel good, or does it make you feel uncomfortable? Like while growing up, I never felt comfortable going to churches because I just felt so, I don't really know the word for it. I wouldn't say outcasted, but more like I didn't feel like it was home. I didn't feel like going to church was the answer for me. In fact, there was I went to a Christian school some of my growing up years, and they tried to teach us to learn about the Bible, and we would take tests on the Bible, and honestly, that was my most dreaded class because it wasn't something I believed in, and it's definitely wasn't something that I follow. So, I knew right then, even in teenage years, but even before that there's a lot more out there than what's in your face that might be kind of being shoved down your throat to be like. Like people try to scare you so much that if you're not this, then you're going to go to hell and burn. And I was told that a lot growing up, because just the way that I was and my beliefs. It's like, but I still, growing up, refused to be like, I'm not going to follow that way if I don't feel like it's right for me. I'm not going to be going to a church if it doesn't feel right. So, with that said, all these questions going through my mind, wondering and thinking and just reading various books. Obviously, Wicca was one of the first things that kind of caught my eye on stuff being slightly different. Not most of the excuse me, most of the most trained ways of life, like, and the things to believe in. But enough about that. So, I guess let's say I've had lots of different supernatural, paranormal experiences throughout my life. I've shared quite a few stories here. There's plenty of others that I haven't shared. Some that are, a lot of them, and even some of the ones I've shared here have been life-changing, to say the least, really. But I guess all I can say is when I started my path is just being young and just being free and not conforming to what society states I should conform to. And I know that sounds kind of like, punkish or, rebel-like attitude, but hey, why not? I'd rather be that than falling into the trap of following one way the rest of my life, even if it didn't resonate with me. So, it's best to just do what you feel is right. That's why I like to just be a spiritual individual, because with being a spiritual individual, you literally can, create your own way. You can create and use your own thoughts and base that around how you want to live your life, how you want it to be, how do you want to see life, and sitting and writing, that really has helped me throughout the years. Writing my thoughts, writing down things that have happened, like signs and messages, things that you wouldn't call a coincidence. Something that this isn't a coincidence. This is something more mysterious. This is unknown. This is paranormal, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely something quite different than the mainstream thing that you would experience. Blubbery. So, yeah, I don't really know a whole lot to say about it. Just the fact that like I talk about on my videos, just be free. Be free to choose what you want to do. And this isn't like a try to tell you don't follow the rules, or something like that. It's like, make your own rules. What do you think, with your path, you shouldn't do? Or what should you not do? And, get a little mysterious with it. Take it deep. Really take your time and look deep within yourself and in your consciousness and see what calls out that makes you feel like this is going to work or this isn't going to work, if that makes sense. I know that's basically what I've always done. Through my life, and life is a roller coaster. That's just all life is. There's ups and there's downs. We get sad, we get angry. Emotions are everywhere. We all have a multitude of emotions that we might feel throughout any given day. But the most important thing that I try to focus on now is just being positive. Just trying to stay positive in any given situation. Because you never know, what might come of some sort of negative situation. There might be a negative situation that's happening and it feels like it's the end of the world and you're not sure what to do. But staying positive, I feel, really helps to enforce, you know, the moving forward part, the acceptance, true, the true that's found within you. Positivity is is an amazing emotion, or yeah, like a thought form, like thinking positive and giving yourself affirmations daily of like, I am worthy of this. I am going to accomplish this, you know, and that can go on, with the affirmations and staying positive. What better way to live your life than to live it in a positive way? Sharing with others, being kind to others, seeing what you can provide for others that they might be lacking, or sometimes people may want to help you too in certain things. So, take that with a grain of salt, obviously, sometimes people might try to give you their advice and you might not want their advice. I know, I've been there too. But, just try to stay positive, take in what they say, You might take one thing out of what one person might tell you to do and change it into something that makes more sense to you in your life. It's really weird holding this microphone. I don't normally do that. Feels like I'm using an old computer, because that's where this came from. It was a really old computer. Look at it. But yeah, I mean, I love being witchy. I love being spiritual. I love just doing what I do, even though each day is different. Each day I may be faced with something. It's like sometimes, you may get so upset over a situation. You have to try to turn it around. Like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's happening to me. How can I let go of it and experience something better? Let's say you're angry or you're mad, and I know to me, seems like that's the hardest thing to get under control when you're in that mode. That and sadness or, anxiety. So, if you're angry, think about the anger as not being yourself. Because, a lot of times when we get angry, we'll be like, I'm so mad. I'm so angry at da 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 da, or I can't believe that happened, and you're just so mad about it. Well, you're using the word I. So, therefore, what are you doing? You're attaching yourself to the anger. If you don't attach yourself to the anger, then you realize it's just a word. It's just a thought form. Therefore, it's not you. It's just a word that's trying to come into your life. So, as anger, look at it as, instead of saying, I'm so mad about this, I can't believe, or whatever, it might be, instead, say, oh, wait, this anger is not a part of me. This anger is a word that is not associated with me. Therefore, I'm using this word to describe who I am. And I'm not that. So therefore, almost instantly, you'll start to feel better. I know it works for me sometimes, and it's a hell of a practice. It's hard, because when you're feeling an angry emotion, it's really hard to change that thought form. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of strength and confidence in yourself to turn that around and look at it into a more positive way. So, that's one thing I like to do, and that's something I'm working on, and it's always going to be a work. You're never going to be able to be 100% perfect at that. So I find that to be a really good way to deal with emotions that's popping up that you don't know how to deal with at the time. You can just do that. And yeah, I mean, I really probably need to wrap this up. It looks like it's about 19 minutes now. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. So yeah, just to boil it all down, I've always just been a spiritual person since birth. My parents raised me up sort of like that. I've always watched, like horror movies. I always listened to a lot of music. So music and movies are a big part of my life. That may have played a part in some of my development. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm definitely not someone that conforms. I'll tell you that. I love to live outside the box and create, more or less create my own box. And I encourage everyone to do that and to, support each other more, love each other more. You don't know how much hate I've seen recently due to some situations I'm not going to get into. But just when you think about how much people are so mean to each other and so hateful, and it's like, if you could just take that hate and turn it around into love, think about how great of a place we would actually live in. It would be just beautiful, because you wouldn't have to be so upset because someone upset you, or someone else don't be upset because they're upset over a situation, therefore they're bleeding off and upsetting someone else. Because it's true. One thing is, what you believe is what you become. And what you put out to the people is what they're going to see and also become. So if you can become a positive, happier person with your own self, the people around you may also become a little bit more positive too. Because your positivity and happiness and love is going to blend off of you onto them. And they're going to soak it up like a sponge. And they're going to become a lot more loving and giving. It may take some time. It's not like it's going to be instant. Like one day you just positive to this person, and then they're just going to turn around like you put a spell on them, and they're just all about you, and they forgive you for whatever the situation is. But you get what I mean. So it'll be time. Takes time. Takes time. Anything that you're trying to better or work on for yourself, it takes time and patience and dedication. I mean, without dedication, you basically won't succeed. You have to have true determination. True determination comes from the heart and from the mind, and that strength to push it forward. I mean, and that really is the truth. And so, yeah, I hope that made sense. I know I kind of went off a little bit on some different topics here. That's usually what I do when I make a video about a particular topic, especially when I'm not editing. So, that boils it down. Spiritual since birth, basically raised up being raised up being able to choose how I want to live my life, choosing what works best for me, taking from various religions and seeing what fits right. And that's just what I did, just through life, just reading and gathering information, seeing what works, what doesn't work. Take a little here, take a little there. And then you come to the point after doing all that research, all that coming together, you realize then, hey, I can create my own way. And therefore, I'm not conforming to any one way or any one thing that others have said, because there's a lot of it is based on just theories. So here's my thing. Why don't you create your own theory of life for yourself? If you don't follow a particular one way, or if all these one ways of religion, say, don't fit or resonate with you, just create your own way. Take from what you like, let go of the rest. That's a big thing to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, because who says that any one person in this world knows everything? Because they don't. Not one person in this world can tell you for 100% fact that this is the real way it is. And it does, just because a book's been wrote and just because people have said this is the way, it doesn't mean anything. And then just because millions of followers may follow one way, that doesn't mean you have to, especially if you don't believe in it. Because you're standing up for yourself. You're taking up for you and doing what's best for you. And that right there is extremely powerful. Very powerful and magical, because you've decided to step out of the boundaries and choose your path for you. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please take care. Much love to you all, and I will see you soon in my next video. Peace.